Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ, Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. If you can hear my voice is a little lower, it's because I'm in Shanghai, China, and I have like full-on guerrilla podcasting here because that's how much we care about you guys. So
and Shanghai don't pay that shit.
I'm gonna need you to watch my back, Soto. Watch this. So I'm at like next to the UFC office because they have the good Wi-Fi, but I can't be in the office because there's a bunch of people working. So I'm like at where they just weighed in, all like quarantined off, and they're cleaning up. So if I get kicked out mid-show,
they're gonna pay with the hook off screen.
Hopefully, I'm not going into a concentration camp. They're just kicking me out of here. But we're doing this show no matter what. Real quick, I lost my wedding ring. I took it off on the flight because my hands swell. Can't find it.
Should you check your butt?
No, it's not a cock ring. It's like an actual wedding ring. But does this mean I'm officially single right now? Like, am I no longer a married man?
You're out of the zip code. You're out of the area code.
Ring.
You're out of the country. You don't have any proof that you are married.
I don't want to be single, but I think legally I am.
I think if a handsome young gentleman catches your eye, I think you might have to explore the possibilities.
It's not cheating.
I'm not going to say anything. On my place.
All right. So the big NFL news, and it affects the Raiders in a little way, but it's kind of interesting. The flag football is going to be in the Olympics in 2028 when they come to LA. And not only is it going to be they're literally closing up banners right now next to me. Not only is it in the Olympics, but NFL teams are going to be allowed to be have the players go. The NFL made an agreement that the players can go. One player per team per country gets in. So like when was it 2 seasons ago when like Jakobsen was there from Germany, he could have went, and then like the international players, they get to go, but like obviously it's the American players that matter. So yeah, we'll see Justin Jefferson just fucking flying past whoever's representing whoever the corner is from France in 2028, 3 years from now.
Is anyone else here just not give two craps about flag football in the Olympics? Like flag football is what like the guys would play that you would make fun of because they didn't want to play actual football.
I had to play flag football in middle school because my parents didn't want me to play tackle football till high school. So pissed.
And you were made fun of.
Yeah. I kept it a secret. No one really knew. Yeah.
Oh God, flag football.
So another joke's on them. Then I started wrestling and doing MMA. I was literally like fighting in cages because they didn't let me play tackle football.
The CTE no matter what.
I sure showed them. Now my neck doesn't work. My back's thrown out.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. I hate this because the NFL and Roger Goodell just continually pussify the NFL. And I know I'm like every other fucking radio host out there and the Neanderthal. This isn't the football I played as a kid. Like like I'm one of a billion people with the same take.
The football they're playing now.
But that's it. I feel like normalizing and popularizing flag football is only going to let them sell this bastardized flag football-y version of football that we have right this second, where you can't touch the quarterback. It's all offense, getting rid of kickoff because of injury. Like, I'm not asking for death squad football, just the football I played in high school. Like, you can have a wedge, you can hip drop tackle, defense can play defense, you can actually tackle a quarterback, just regular football. And then doing like normalizing flag football is opposite of the direction I want the sport to go.
Yeah, I'm not interested whatsoever in this. Even if NFL players are playing, I understand that it's a way to promote the NFL through its stars on a global stage. So then, you see a player balling out if you're in Greece or if you're in the Congo or you're wherever, and you see a player balling out. Okay, well, what they play in the NFL. Okay, well, let me see if I can become a fan of their NFL team or whatever. I understand that from the business perspective. It doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah. And it's, and obviously there's like the obvious repercussions, right? Injury. We're gonna get to Christian Wilkins here in a second. Malcolm Kuntz, non-contact injury. out for an entire season. So
Dude,
like, oh, it's flag football.
They weren't even wearing pads. They were wearing t-shirts and shorts, and he blew his knee out.
Like the injury thing's very, very real. And yeah, it's just another excuse to keep bastardizing football. So not only is it like so many people are indifferent, you're indifferent to it. I actively despise it because I hate what it represents for football.
I think despising it just gives it too much power over you. You know, I just
It's best to ignore it.
I just don't think about it. Like if a chick, like you break up with a chick, like the best way to get revenge on her is not to hate her, is just to freaking forget her and move on.
Yeah. Instead of like leaving shitty comments on every Instagram post and not even block her, just not even
just live your best life. Hey, if John Anik's walking around there, just make sure to tell him I said what's up.
I will. He's
call him over.
It's mostly locals. I don't think anyone speaks English around me. So if they say get out of here, if anyone speaks Chinese, let me know and translate what they're saying to me, because I'm just going to assume it's like, go Raiders. Let's talk about Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, if anyone says like, yeah, Raiders, what's up? just agree with them.
They're like, oh, I'm so excited for flag football. And you're like, oh, great, sweet. So with that said, which Raider should go? Which Raider should go to the Olympics?
Dude, I haven't. I literally have thought less about this than the freaking bunion on my back.
I wonder, like, I guess Brock Bowers would make sense as a tight end.
There's no way, dude.
Ashton Jeanty, maybe as a running back.
There's no way they'll let him do it.
Well, they don't have a choice. If he wants to do it,
I understand. We all know how this works. We all know how this works.
You know, honestly, you know who the Raiders should send?
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Because he's basically been playing flag football the last 10 years of his career.
We can't touch his ass.
Oh, this guy touched me. He can get the
Ever
reps on his
knee blown out. Yeah.
Complain a little bit. If he gets hurt, what do we care? You can still be an owner in crutches, you know? Send Tom Brady. Tom Brady should be the Raider. Should be the Raiders player. Send Tom.
Maybe if Fox pushes back his 10-year deal.
Let him go.
I think
Fox would love it. I think Fox would cream their pants having him play in the Olympics.
Every time I think of Tom Brady and a decision that needs to be made, I think of it in the scope of $365 million. Like, how does it affect my freaking wallet? That's the first thing I think of.
Yeah. It's like when you think of Pamela Anderson, you immediately think of two things. When you think of Tom Brady, you think of $365 million things. Yeah.
Have you seen her now?
Yeah, she didn't hold up the same way Carmen Electra did. Carmen Electra still got it.
The thing is, it's like once you start messing with your face a lot, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how this is gonna make me sound, but I always thought that. I mean, I know she's a lesbian and everything, but like Jillian Michaels, I always thought she was kind of a little cutie, right? Mm-hmm. And then the fitness chick, and then I saw her on Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm just like,
I have a standing rule, and I've told this to the wife.
Her face was like frozen. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so sad right now.
I have a standing rule. Neck down, go to town.
Oh, yeah.
Neck up, stay away. You can do whatever you want, neck down. Move the tits around, suck this out of here, push it into there, shorten this, widen that. Go to town. Neck down, go to town. Face up, stay away.
Yeah, man. My cousin she used to run a couple of plastic surgeon offices. One in Beverly Hills and one in Long Beach. It's the same doctor. And I'd always tell her, like, dude, just don't screw with your face. Mm-hmm. And she would come in looking like this. Like, I'm like, dude, how much freaking Botox did you get? You're like 30 years old. What do you need Botox for? And she's just like, that forehead did not move a freaking millimeter, dude. Mm-hmm. And now it's, she's aged, which is fine because everyone does. But I think you can do it gracefully. You can still keep that body in check.
Like us, just grow beards as the wrinkles come. Cover it up.
Bro, I'm never shaving this thing again. The attention it gets me is unreal.
They think you're Santa Claus. They get
on my lap,
9-year-olds all over you.
What do you think about my laugh? It's located on my face.
So the Christian Wilkins injury from last season, right? Barely got to play. The like 3.5 games he was healthy. Like the defense was noticeably different.
Freaking noticeably different.
Noticeably different. So obviously losing him sucks. We were excited to get him back. Malcolm Kuntz is back. Max Crosby's back. The whole defensive line's coming back from injury. So hopefully everyone gets better. Christian Wilkins was the one raising eyebrows because he was in a walking boot, then he was out of a walking boot, then he was in a walking boot again. And when there's ever a step back, it's always concerning to varying degrees. Always you're kind of, it's not going the way it's supposed to. And it's a Jones fracture in the foot. Can be complicated. My light WebMDing, 3 minutes of that says, it's 4 to 6 weeks and it's a bone and it heals, but it's a foot and can be a little complicated.
Oh, and we saw up in there. Just make it funky, dude.
Yeah, it's like the hand. It's like anything that's shoulder, anything that's really complicated. A lot of moving parts.
On our hands. That's the thing. You're constantly putting so much pressure on it. It's like anything that goes not exactly right with your foot, it's just gonna stay so screwed up unless you go in and fix it right away.
And you know how dainty NFL linemen are, where they're just not putting a lot of weight on
it's like 340 pounds
appendages, right? So we've been paying attention, and there were reports that he was at not OTAs, but one of the voluntary workouts, and he was walking around fine, doing at the facility. He said he was fine. Tashawn Reed reported that a source within the Raiders says everything's going fine, whatever, and then we saw in a walking boot again. So at the presser today, we're recording this Wednesday, Pete Carroll was asked about Christian Wilkins' status.
Working hard, but we're still working it, and he's not ready to get back out. And we're in the midst of a long, challenging process here. So, fortunately, there's a lot of time, and we're going to take every bit of it. We've really tried to be really diligent about the way we've worked it and the way we've monitored it and all of that. And he's been on board the whole time. So, but it has been challenging.
So, on a level of 1 being, totally fine, this is just a minor injury, we'll be okay, and 10, where it's like season's over, defense is shot, where do you stand, Soto?
Probably a 6, because he's still saying that there's still time. So he's acknowledging the fact, if you want to kind of like decipher this, he's acknowledging the fact that he's not ready, that he still needs to fix it. And technically there's still time for him right now to have surgery again and heal, and maybe miss a couple of weeks of the season with, rehab and ramping back up to cardio and getting in shape. So the issue that I have is if I forgot what it's called, but basically it's like compartment syndrome for your foot, where the swelling, I forgot what it's called, but that's really dangerous. It's like a muscular thing where the muscles get really inflamed whenever you put any pressure on it. And that's
Bigfoot
just
syndrome,
something like that.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous because it messes with circulation and it kind of starts messing with the nerve endings and stuff like that. So once you start screwing with stuff like that, then you're going to have problems, like long-term problems. But if it's something that can be fixed, which sounds like it's something that they're maybe leaning into doing another surgery, I would do it right away. Just because if the first one didn't take properly and you have to redo it, then you're right. You're better off doing it as soon as possible.
This sucks because, let's say best case scenario, absolute best case scenario, he misses a ton of camp. Like, even if he's healthy week 1 and suits up and plays every down, he's not going to be quite as good a shape. He's not going to be getting the reps. He's not going to be, he's played 3.5 games with the Raiders. He's a second-year guy here, but he's barely starting to build that, synergy with teammates and all that shit. So this really sucks. And like the complications of this blow, and we saw, like we mentioned at the top of the segment, defense was noticeably different with Christian Wilkins in there. It's like we always talk about the chain reaction of someone next to Max means you can't triple team Max every play. And that means on the other end, those guys are available. And that means pressure on the quarterback means our dime store linebackers and unproven DBs, they have more time, more flexibility. This defense is going to be built around the defensive line, and losing at worst our third best defensive lineman, probably second best defensive lineman, has a chain reaction that makes my butthole pucker.
It's a shame, man. It's that pressure, that attention that he commands, it really was going to ease a little bit of the attention on the other players. Now we have to hope that Adam Butler continues the ascend. You know, he really stepped up. I was very pleased with his play last season when he was called upon, and hopefully these young guys, these young kids are quick, man. These two guys, Hemingway and Pegues, they're really quick. They're not as big and as disruptive physically as Christian Wilkins is, but they are disruptive in a different way because they get into the backfield a lot. And,
did you just say ascend instead of ascend?
Yes, I was waiting for you to pick that up.
I was waiting for you. I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll, but I did want to comment.
I said, yeah, I did say that. So
that sounds like what Sean Connery would say in Celebrity Jeopardy on SNL. The penis mightier. I'll take ass end for 200, please.
I maybe forget my train of thought.
That's why I tried to wait. You're on a diatribe. I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to dive in before people forgot about
it. If we have to put in, you know, Tonka and JJ in there for a little bit and rotate them around, I think that they're not going to be a Christian Wilkins, but they still have the ability to cause a little damage in the back, because that's basically their game. They're not stack and shed guys. That's not what they do. That's Christian Wilkins he's quick, but he also has that strength where he can stack and shed. That's not Tonka and Pegues. They're slashers. They get into the backfield, and you know, they're not really much for a secondary move. If they're stopped initially, they're pretty much stopped for the play. But they're high in motor, they're high energy. So hopefully we can work with that.
Yeah, it sucks that there's immediately a dark cloud over the remaining part of this offseason, because the big stories were Tom Brady's first season as owner, Pete Carroll's first season as coach, Chip Kelly's first season as OC. How's Ashton Jeanty gonna do? Geno Smith, like these are all these like cool stories, but the number one story now in training camp is Christian Wilkins' health. You know, it's not the fun one, but it's the number one thing I'm paying attention to. Is when can that guy get in there, and how good is he gonna be when he finally does?
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, I thought this story was great. I'm glad you haven't seen this yet because I want to get your initial reaction to it. But Jackson Powers Johnson was on the Rush podcast. It was awesome. He's so easy to fucking fall in love with, dude. Just the way he plays. He looks like a giant baby Huey, which is like a big head, and
he's huge.
Just rotund. He's just a goofy white boy bowling ball that can suplex your ass. He's awesome.
He has
he's like attitude
burger named after him. Yes, he's a fucking cool guy.
So fucking sweet. He was on the Rush podcast with Max Crosby and talked about how he became center.
5 or 6, and Andre ended up going down, and they were going to put someone else in at center who hadn't gotten snaps all week at it. And I was irate. Like, I was pissed. So like they're trying to find someone to like start the snap to Gardner at the time, and I'm like, no, this. So I went up to AP and I was like, Coach, respectfully, like I'm going to play center. I won the Remington. Like I can do this, and like I don't care what you say. I'm going to go play center. That's kind of the first time I took ownership, and he was kind of like surprised. He's like, all right, okay, go. And then I think like when like first the 2 plays, like I hit toss somebody, and immediately I was just like, oh, I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back. This feels good. This feels good. And then it was after that, like, okay, I'm not giving it back up. You know, like I'll do what the team needs me to do, but I'm going to make a hard decision about me playing center or guard.
Just bullying Antonio Pierce, just bullying a Super Bowl champion NFL linebacker, current NFL head coach as a rookie. So sweet.
Well, yeah, I think that most head coaches would react similarly to what AP did. Yeah. I really do. It's like, hey, man, you want to own it? I mean, it's not like he says, like, let me play tight end or, let me run the ball, right? Like he was Remington Award winner. He was the best center in the country his last season at Oregon. So yeah, he can play. And so he's not coming from like, a fantasy position for things. So yeah, he wants to own it. He's invested in it. Okay, go ahead and take it.
He has the resume to back up the ball that he showed, right? And so it's like, it's like any other job, right? Like if you just kind of like, I think bosses appreciate gusto, confidence, especially a football coach, right? Like, and because he plays the way he talks to AP, like that's how he plays football. Is I'm going to win. I know I'm going to win this exchange, and I'm going to show it to you and do it. Like I don't care about the bullshit. And I think AP was. And AP always wants to be a player's coach, right? He wanted, I'm sure he's thinking this is going to be my center for the next 10 years. I'm going to be coach for the next 10, 20 years. I want to have a good relationship with him. He's showing confidence. He's, being proactive with it. So it's like, you don't want to squash that. Right. And there's a level of like, hey, rookie, got to earn it. I'm in charge. There's a level of that. But I just love it's just like, he's fucking bullied. Super Bowl winning linebacker, head coach. And he's like,
I don't care what you say. I'm still going to do it. Okay. Sweet.
I wish I could like win arguments with my wife the way Jackson Powers Johnson wins arguments with NFL head coaches. Just going to do it.
No.
I just need to have the resume. We're both wrestlers. We both have similar hairlines.
That resume is soft, dude. There's
two things. There's two things we have in. We're basically the same guy, me and Jackson Powers Johnson. We're twins. We're like identical twins. I'm amazed that you can tell the difference between us. We're so alike.
I thought you were when we started. That's why I did it.
Like JPG, what are you doing in China? That's crazy. Oh wait,
that's weird. Why is that so weird?
So we the schedule release. We did the show last week on the whole schedule release, and it's a nice schedule, man. Other than obviously being in the AFC West with 3 playoff teams, AFC champions, all got good quarterbacks, all got probably Hall of Fame coaches, tough division. It's a very tough division. Other than that, not a bad schedule, right? Not a bad schedule. We got the Super Bowl champions later, but it's, not bad. But there is one element, because we can't all have nice things. There is one element to the schedule that kind of sucks. And it's a term called net rest differential. And for those of you who don't know, it's how many rest days do you get versus your opponent? Are you coming off a Thursday night game and they're off a Sunday? You get those 3 extra days rest. Are you coming off a Monday night game? They're coming off a Sunday. You get 1 less day rest. You have a bye week and they didn't. You have, 7 more days rest, right? Like we don't need to tell you how important just 1 extra day of rest is in the NFL. Raiders didn't do too well in that department. In fact, they were the worst net rest differential team this season. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9th worst ever since they started tracking this in 2002. They have a net rest differential of minus 17. So they get 17 less rest days compared to our opponents. It's brutal.
Yeah, that's funky.
And we get hurt a couple ways. So off of our bye, we play the Jags, but the Jags are also coming off their bye. So that's like a 0, right? That we don't have an advantage there. It's a 0. A Monday night game always hurts us. Things like that. We only have 1 Thursday night game. Like opposed to Dallas, who has 4. Like, how much I love Thursday night games, right? That's basically a mini bye. Like, give us as many Thursday night games as you possibly can. And then the Monday night game hurts us. Not going to get a lot of rest. So we're not, the opponents aren't super scary outside of divisional games, but it's going to be a tired lot. It's going to be a tuckered bunch.
Yeah, well, we got to just go out there and start these games off the right way.
You knew the NFL couldn't let us have one like semi-decent schedule, right? Like we're either the most traveled team ever, and we're not this season. We're like barely, like we're almost average. It's kind of crazy. We're almost always the most traveled team. Now we're not. No international games. We're playing the right other divisions, and plus we only had 4 wins last season, so our other 3, I think we're playing the like 5 of the top 7 draft picks or something like that. Like we're playing a lot of bad teams, right? And so you know the NFL is going to be like, that's too easy for you. Let's throw a curveball at you. Yeah, you can play these bad teams and not have to travel as much, but you're going to be exhausted because you're the Raiders and you can't have nice things.
Yeah. Well, they can't give it to us, right? They have to make us earn it, right? Some weird rule or weird ruling or an index card steals a first down from us or inadvertent whistle in the freaking stands. It's got to be something.
Always something. This is kind of a fun story. So Ashton Jeanty, it's weird when you're like the 6th overall and you when you come into a team because you're a rookie and there's the hazing and you're young and it's like, all right, you're playing with boys, now you're playing with men. But when you're the 6th overall at a running back, you're one of the highest paid players on the team immediately, $38 million guaranteed, and the 2nd highest paid running back in football right away. So Ashton Jeanty, it's like, how much hazing can a backup like tight end or backup like guard give you when you make 38 times as much as them? Like an interesting dynamic. We'll see how they go about it in that locker room. But even like one of the best kickers in the game, Daniel Carlson, he makes way more than him. He's a kicker, right? So there's this story about how Ashton Jeanty is going to pay Carlson for the number 2 jersey. And he didn't say exactly how much. And a chunk of it, most of it, some of it, whatever the number is going to go to charity, which makes sense. But Ashton Jeanty told Kay Adams, I love her, by the way, told her, I'm not going to tell you how much, but you could buy like a small house in like the Midwest or like a really, really nice car with how much Ashton Jeanty is going to pay Daniel Carlson for the right to wear number 2.
He gave him $100K, bro.
That's what it looks like, right? It has to be minimum 6 figures, right?
It's got to be $100K.
It's got to be minimum 6 figures.
Yeah. I thought he was smarter with his money, man. I heard a story that he used his NIL money he got from Boise State to for the LeBron James treatment minus the Diddy parties.
Mm-hmm.
So he NIL money into his body.
Yeah,
and he's paying $100,000 for a number. God damn.
I'm hoping that it's like a tax write-off thing, right? If it goes to charity, it's a write-off.
Yeah.
It's like a business purchase. So like his S Corp will purchase the jersey numbered. So it's, you know what I mean? These guys aren't dumb, right? Like, I hosted a show with AJ Hawk at Sirius XM for about a year, and he's like Mr. Philanthropy. Like he is everywhere doing charity for golf tournaments, giving shit away, auctions. But he's so real that he's one of the few guys that's like, yeah, man, I love doing nice things for people. Like it makes you feel good, but it's all just tax write-offs. Like if I don't do this, I'm just going to give it to Uncle Sam. So it's the best of all worlds, right? I get to do these nice things and feel good about doing nice things, and the money goes where I want it to go and not to blowing up rocks in some desert and buying missiles that we don't need or something like that, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, Jeanty just tells his money guy, hey, help me with my taxes here. How much should I pay for this number? He's like, dude, but give him $200,000. It'll help you on your taxes even more than that.
And I don't get jersey numbers, man. Like the infatuation with it. Like when they get retired and then they come back, I know I'm in the minority, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not superstitious enough. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. So I'm not enough stitious. It's such a weird world when just 30 seconds of like Googling and you can find someone's net worth.
That's weird.
You know what I mean? Like if Daniel Carlson's like, if he was let's say it was like the old days where he didn't have like a guaranteed contract, or if he was, he was drafted like in the 4th round or whatever, right? Would he have made him pay for it? Or if he just said no? Or like if the number was totally different? Like once you find out this dude's got $38 million guaranteed and he's 22 years old, you're like, okay, I'm going to need an S-class in exchange for this little digit on your jersey.
Yeah, it's not like freaking Daniel Carlson is out there signing a ton of autographs. D. Carlson #2,
Yeah. He's like, hey, do I get some royalties on your jersey maybe or something like that?
Some points.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like people always say, like, if I won the lottery, no one would know, but there'd be signs. It's like, no, there would not be signs. I mean, I might disappear.
You would not see me.
That would be the only sign. But you're not, I don't want people coming up to me knowing my money. That's so and this is like such an issue in the UFC because UFC pay is pretty quiet. Like it's not released, and like pay-per-view points aren't released, and bonuses aren't really released and shit like that. And you talk to fighters because you're like, hey, if you guys want to make more money, you guys all got to know what you're all making so you can negotiate as a unit and, blah, 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 blah. But it's crazy how many fighters like, I don't want guys knowing how much I'm making. Like they already think I'm a bajillionaire because I'm in the UFC. Like I don't want them to know. I don't want like my boys back home. Yeah, I don't want to I keep discovering third cousins I didn't know I had who have all these like great business ideas because I fought in the UFC. It's like I don't want people to know I made $850,000 on this main event. Fuck that.
Oof. Bid it. $850 one event. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the Las Vegas Review Journal, Vinny, had an exclusive with Mark Davis. The ownership meetings are going down in Ohio. I don't even remember. Not important.
Not gonna work here anymore, at least.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't care. Don't know. And he did an interview with Mark Davis, a very brief one, a little Q&A. Maybe I'll post the link if I remember down in the comment or down in the description so you guys can read it yourself. Nothing too wild out of it. No breaking news. Nothing kind of too crazy. It was more the tone that I thought was worth bringing up. So the Review Journal would ask him, and he would ask him, it's like, hey, what's it like working with Carroll and Spytek? And it's like, oh, it's great. It's fantastic. Been around football a whole long time. But we'll see. We'll see how things work out. We got to win on the field first. How was it watching their first draft together? Oh, it's exciting. I think we got some interesting players, but until there are results, it's just all optimism. What do you think of Jeanty? Oh, he's a wonderful young man. I really do. We'll see how it goes, but I think he's a special player. And then he talked about like fandom, and that's when he became kind of like promoter, used car salesman, talking about like ticket sales and getting the Las Vegas fan base to back him and shit like that. But when he was talking about on the field stuff, Soto, it was all like, no, yeah, good. It's feel like it's the right thing, but we'll see. Oh yeah, I think he's a good player. Got to do it on the field. Yeah, I think this guy's got some potential. We'll see when the pads come on, which is very different, I think, Soto. And maybe it's the day they caught him. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but Mark Davis has always been kid in a candy store as an owner. Oh my God, John Gruden's here. It's going to be a new thing. We got Josh McDaniels. He's a genius. Oh, it's going to be a new regime. We're so excited about Antonio Pierce or whatever it may be. This time, Soto, he's saying, yeah, I think it's the right move, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that gives me some optimism. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about it. And it's been my experience when somebody has to squint at something to make it seem better, that they almost project that. Like, oh, they're really like excited about things and like trying to make themselves believe it. But when people don't see anything, I don't want to say wrong, but like don't really see any holes and everything looks in order and they don't have to squint, they're like, okay, well, do I trust this? I haven't been lying to myself, so I haven't really convinced myself of this. Let me kind of just see where it plays out. I don't trust this enough.
I think it's also, I think you're onto something where it's like now you can, they use the term used car salesman because there's always something wrong with that car. Like it's a used car for a reason, right? So you have to like paint it up and, you got to razzle dazzle it with your words because it's a used car. he's not very used car salesman here, I think, because I think the results and, having Tom Brady on board, new ownership, Spytek, Carroll, Gino, all that shit, right? But I think also it's partly like we've given Mark Davis a lot of shit over the years, and I think he's deserved. I don't think we've ever been unfair with the shit we've given Mark Davis just because of how the team's performed under his regime. Constantly preaching, I just want to win. I never doubted the desire to win was there, right? I think he really does. Like, imagine, like, he has to live in his father's shadow forever. Like, Al Davis swindled the team, got it, won Super Bowls, coached it. Like, he lost it later on, but was one of the most important figureheads in the NFL, butted heads with the NFL and won constantly. Like, he has to live in that shadow forever. And then it was cry me a river. You're a billionaire and you got a team just because you came out of his ball sack. But still, it's real life, right? I think now for the first time ever, he's felt the pain of all this losing. And he's like, I'm not going to get burned again. It's like, I'll get excited when the results are there. I've done the work, the infrastructure's set, proud with what we're doing, but I will be jacked when we're hoisting banners, when I'm getting handed a Lombardi trophy, when Gino's going to all pros, like that's when I am going to like really be excited, because I think he's just like all Raider fan base. It's like we've been burned for 20 years, just been terrible for 20 years. And we keep getting excited and doesn't work out or barely works out or whatever it may be. I think you're starting to feel the losing a little bit.
Also, I think he's starting to, he's surrounded himself with chronic winners. And they were kind of giving him the example of, hey, it doesn't matter how good we did right now. This is off season. We need to get these guys up and running. We need to get these guys to where we need them to be when the season starts, so we can start winning some games when everything does matter. And
that's a great point about surrounded with winners. Like, we're a 4-win team last season. You're going to go to Tom Brady and be like, we're in a great place right now, Tom. Tom's like,
what are you talking about, dude? There's so much work to be done. Like, why are we even like?
Yeah, like,
why? There's no checkpoint right now. Like, everyone. Okay, we had a good draft. Good. We should have good drafts. Yeah, we signed up some good players. We should sign good players. Why are we patting ourselves on the back for some stuff that we should do anyway? We have to raise these expectations to the level where they need to be, because ultimately we don't win any games in the offseason. We need to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to succeed. So when we do get to the season, then we have, something to, kind of feel good about. But, even then we're not going to be content winning a regular season game. Great. We want a game. Yeah. We should win. Now let's go win the next one.
Be proud of the little wins, right? Do something good. Good. Yeah. Good job. Now it's like, okay, now like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing we got to be good at? Like, okay, we jerk ourselves off for like 10 seconds and it's on to the next thing. Best example I can give, my buddy Zach, a board op at SiriusXM. He's from Philly, season ticket holder of the Eagles, diehard Eagles fan. Last season or 2 seasons ago, so they had just won a Super Bowl recently, and they were like 9-2 or something. And he's complaining about how it's like, man, we're kind of falling apart. Like, I'm not happy with this, and this. I'm like, you're 9-2. You're like 1 or 2 in the NFC. Your NFC, like, you're currently like 3 games ahead in the NFC East. But he just won a Super Bowl. And so in his mind, if we're not poised to win a Super Bowl, it's a failure. That's where his bar is. That's where his mindset is. And there's us who are just like, oh my God, we have a great rookie tight end. How great are things right now? You know what I mean? Like, we've just been so used to losing all this time. So that's an awesome point you made. Mark Davis is surrounded by winners now. Spytek
the mindset's
won
different.
A Super Bowl. Tom Brady's won a ton of Super Bowls. It's like now, like that's completely different mindset. It's like, okay, yeah, little wins, great. It's building towards something big. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet. Like we are shit. 4-win team. Rosters in shambles. We're making good moves. We're stepping in the right direction, but there's no patting each other on the back for shit right now. And I think, I think that's a great point. I think it's all that losing Mark Davis has done. And now just the feeling in Las Vegas is the bar's here now. Like this is you can't even see it on the screen how high the bar is in Las Vegas now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also, we need to put everything in its proper place. Winning the draft is, you don't even know if you won the draft this year. So why are you even excited about it? Like you can be, pleased that you got good players and pleased with your staff and everything that they did the job to a good degree. But anything further than that, it's just fluff. Yeah. It's just fluff because, I mean, nothing that's happened so far can't be undone with more moves. Like you can sign some guys and maybe some guys from the undrafted free agents beat other guys out or whatever. So it's like, yeah, none of this stuff really matters too much until you see the finished product of what you're going to put on the field. And that's when it starts to count. And even then, are you that excited over being 1-0? Are you that excited over being 4-1 or 4-2 or whatever? Like, are you super excited about that? Like, it gets you there. But again, you have to put it all in its proper place.
Yeah, football's supposed to be fun. Be happy with little wins, right? I'm excited to watch Jeanty. I like our coaching staff. I'm happy with, always content, never satisfied. Best advice old man Clifford has ever given. It's like, like if you're not happy with what you're doing, it's going to be detrimental, but never be satisfied with like, oh, it's enough. Let's start celebrating. Let's pop champagne because we like our running back. I think you can just feel Mark Davis's mentality has shifted.
Yeah.
Ready for some like wholesome content?
Sure.
Deuce Gruden is like the forgotten man. He just won. He took third place in the IPF World Championships for bench press. Isn't that cool?
Damn.
Third World Championships for bench. Which isn't shocking at all. Very on brand. My question is,
what did he put up? Do you know?
I don't know. More than you or I could, I would assume. Probably more than both of us put together. I got to go find it out. But if you're John Gruden, are you happy for that? Or are you disappointed you didn't get first?
No, you got to be happy for that, man.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Okay.
I'm looking for it.
I always forget Deuce is still on the squad. Like he must genuinely be good at it, or it's just straight up like, all right, John, he's at so much cachet with his franchise. Like we'll just always have a Gruden on staff, no matter
452.
what. 452.
Yeah, 205 kilos in the 83 kilo class. So he weighs what, 175 or I guess around there, 180.
Because he's like 5'4",
No, he's not that short. But yeah, he's vertically challenged. But yeah, 452 was his bench.
Jesus.
That's nuts. Good for him. Congrats.
I bet you Jeanty can beat that. Jeanty with his shirt off is a unique experience.
I think the most I ever did was like 325.
Jeanty looks like his muscles are trying to explode off of his body. Like his skin is just holding in these muscles that are like trying to burst out of his body.
I was listening to an interview that JT the Brick had with Jackson Powers Johnson. And he's like, dude, when I gave him a hug, he was like one big, like flexed muscle. Like I patted him on the back and I was like, oh, dude.
He's those guys that just are dense. You know, like he's big, strong, big head, thick neck, but then it's just like deceivingly heavy. He's one of those guys that like, I feel like he just has like more blood than us too.
Like a toddler. Like you don't see a toddler being that big and you pick it up and oh, heavy.
Yeah. He looks like a giant baby that will hip toss your ass all the way to the 20-yard line. All right, ready to do some what up windbags?
Yeah, man, let's get it.
All right. I'm not going to lie. I picked this question based purely because of the YouTube handle. Eaton Butthole. EATONBUTTHULL. I love our listeners. Eaton Butthole. I want to see an MMA fight between you two. Settle who's the alpha once and for all. Where were you at the Gazi Academy 15 years ago? Could have saw it a couple nights a week.
Getting thrown on my head by everybody.
When you were there, when you weren't sponsor.
Yeah, whenever I told him I couldn't come for 6 months because of my work schedule changed and he charged me anyway. That was like the worst name. Like that was like the biggest slight of a nickname, dude.
It's a jiu-jitsu gym. Like it's just like,
and I'm such a dumbass. Like I'm young, I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm getting charged every month. I don't even like look to see that I'm getting charged.
So I've told this story. We've told this story on the show before, but if you're one of the new 10,000 subscribers that we have, again, thank you all for helping us reach that threshold, or not helping, making us reach that threshold.
The threshold, yeah.
So we were at the same jiu-jitsu gym. This was probably 15 years ago, however long it was.
Probably.
And you signed up, right? And you couldn't go for like 6 months. So you tell them like, hey, can you take me off the monthly fee to be here?
I was going for over a year, like no problem. And then my work schedule changed, so I couldn't make it. And then I said, hey, just pause my membership. I'll be back. Maybe I'll come in on Saturdays every now and then, but I can't. I couldn't come Saturdays. And then, he was like, yeah, no, for sure, no problem. We're going to deposit. It's going to be okay. You're still
bullshitting you.
You're still part of the team. Everyone here's family. Okay, great. And then I checked 6 months, 8 months. I was like 8 months later. I'm like, dude, what the heck? I'm still getting charged.
So you kept getting charged, but you never went. And so he's like, you're like a sponsor. You know, you sponsor the Gazi Academy.
You sponsor the gym. It's okay. It's good for the gym. I'm like, what? For those of you who don't understand, that is a top level Brazilian accent.
Sponsor. You gotta go jiu-jitsu. Sponsor.
You give me money, I teach you jiu-jitsu.
God, I gotta start calling you sponsor again. That's a great nickname. It was earned.
That's an old life. Don't bring that back.
At Iowa Raider fan. Congrats on 10K subs. Great show, guys. I remember when the video quality was so bad, I thought RJ had a touch of the downs.
Now he's sure you do.
What makes you say I don't? I think it was I used like the Jennifer Lopez filter to try to look better. Still.
Yeah.
Not working.
Backfired.
That's
backfire.
The What Up Windbags are really delivering these days. I'm proud of you guys. Last one, an actual question this time. We'll do one serious one. Jacob DePriest, 4754. I will never understand the love for PG, Patrick Graham. What is good about Patrick Graham? We get this question, I'd say, every 6 months or so, Soto, and it's important to refresh everyone's memory.
So it's short-sighted to lean back and say, okay, this guy is not a good coach because his squad is doing this, right? Because we've been spending a lot of draft picks on players like, Tyree Wilson, and we were just giving a lot of money to guys that weren't really producing very well. But you see flashes and you see the development of players that play much better under his defense than they played elsewhere, or who are getting better under him and then move off. Like, dude, we four or five guys from this defense got paid, and it wasn't like we were, bummed out like, oh my God, I'm going to cry that we lost these guys. There were guys that were, they were contributors, but they were to a level under this defense where other teams wanted to take these guys away from us. And I don't think that they were guys that we thought we couldn't replace at other places. So either we thought they were maybe playing a little bit above themselves, or we're confident in our coaches to be able to coach other guys up as well. When the reins were taken off of PG for those last 8 games or so, 9 games, under Antonio Pierce a few years ago, the defense was crushing it. And that is because the defense played a lot closer to how Patrick Graham wants to play his defense, and he didn't have a Josh McDaniels over his shoulder telling him what to do and kind of putting a wet blanket on some of the things that he wanted to do. Unfortunately, last season, the engine to his defense kind of broke down, and he lost everyone but one starting defensive lineman, and that kind of derailed the rest of the defense. But when you have an offense that doesn't do very much for you and it keeps putting you back on the field a lot, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But my big thing is the development of the players that you saw, especially like guys like Spillane, guys that the development of Merrick, and you see it in the development of Isaiah Polamalu, stuff, guys like that are creeping up. So there's definitely Adam Butler was just a guy. He comes to the Raiders and he's just he's later in his career too. I mean, he's a little bit older. He's like, was he 30 now, something like that? Mm-hmm. And so he's getting better under Patrick Graham. So this guy, he's developing these guys and putting him in good positions.
I would say even bigger picture, like this defense is not good personnel wise. Like, you guys gotta understand how devastated this roster has been from the JDM era, the Gruden era, the Mayock. Like, this roster is devastated from those guys. Like, we should have a litany of third, fourth, fifth round picks that are in their second, third, fourth year, ready to start, ready to contribute, been developing over time. Like, we don't have barely any of those guys. How many dudes have we had? Like, oh, he's been on the roster 3 years. He was a fifth round pick, and man, now he's developed. He's ready to come. Like, those guys aren't there. But like, everyone looks to like all the first round swings and misses by Gruden, which are true. The free agent signings that were terrible, which is true. That's the obvious shit. But then there's the whole like developing guys that'll contribute and be an average starter, safety, or average guard. Like, we don't have those guys. They don't exist because of all the bad middle changes. So it's like, when our defense was crushing it the second half of 2 seasons ago, yeah, AP deserves his credit for it for sure. And there were some certain players that were playing well, but I credit PG more than anybody. And then last season, the defense sucked, but we lost arguably our 3 best defensive players on the defensive line. Max, Christian, and Kuntz never played. Arguably our 3 best, right? Depending where you rate Spillane and Merrick and stuff. But like, at worst, 3 of our 5 best players, maybe our 3 best players. So, and then there's nothing after that. We lucked out with Spillane. Merrick's second round pick worked out. Nate Hobbs was a great pick in a 5th round, but he kept getting hurt and wasn't contributing, right? Like, this roster is bad. And PG has made a bad roster defense always 30% better than it should be. He consistently takes these amalgamation of parts and is able to make a defense that's better than the sum of its parts, which is all you want from a coach, right? Make the players play at the best of their ability, whether it's, like you mentioned, individually developing the specific player, but I think bigger, it's schematically. Patrick Graham's like, what your strengths are, we'll put you in a position to succeed the best. And, it's like the Carr conversation we had before, right? Is Carr great quarterback? No, but there was nothing around him that had him to succeed. Is Patrick Graham the best defensive coordinator in football? Like, no, but he's gotten a lot of guys paid, and he's made the defense better than the sum of its parts. And so I know, obviously, coming off a really bad defensive year, you want to point the finger at Patrick Graham and say it's his fault, but like, fucking Vic Fangio couldn't have made our roster last season a good defense. Like, it just wasn't going to happen.
There wasn't the players there, yeah.
And even after how bad the defense was last season, he got some interviews. He's still, even around the league, he was still getting, he wasn't going to get a head coach interview, but
I mean, he probably would have been, he had a really good shot at that Jacksonville job if your boy, what's his name? Guy that ended up getting it, Cohen. If Cohen would have stayed with Tampa Bay instead of going behind their backs, it was a real real possibility. He was flying out there for a final interview. So he was talking to a guy that was going to be, was probably going to be a head coach.
I mean, and this was a bottom 5th defense. And still he was going to get, he was getting close to getting, he was getting defensive coordinator opportunities and almost got a head coaching opportunity. That, it wasn't because the defense was good. It's because they realized, wow, Patrick Graham made that better, right? Graham's the man, guys. I mean,
he's good.
As bad as Josh, he's probably the best contribution Josh McDaniels gave this team was hiring Patrick Graham. He's good, guys. He's good. All right, that's it for us. I didn't get kicked out. Look at me.
Excellent.
Don't have to go to a Chinese prison. We will keep you abreast of everything going on in Raiderland throughout the rest of the week.
Hey, real quick, R.I.P. Jim Irsay, man. R.I.P. Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, just died at 65 years old today. So R.I.P. to that man.
Yeah, he kind of, I think he lived the life of an owner that probably I would be.
Oh yeah,
way too hands-on and just emote. This sounds fun. I'm gonna have fun being an owner. I'm gonna do some shit and I know the smart guys say do this, but I want to do this. Had a good time, partied. He ownered correctly.
Oh, he had a good time.
Not good, but he didn't owner good. He ownered correctly.
He ownered the way that a normal person would owner.
Yeah. If it was one of those what was that Disney movie where the kid owns the twins because his grandpa just left him the twins? Ah, shit. What was that movie? It wasn't Rookie of the Year. It was the other one. Anyway, it's if that happened to me, it's all right, the Raiders are yours. It's all right, I'm going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun, just like Irsay did. Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.